Absolutely. Tonight, Indiana men's soccer team, man,
Yes.
national title, number 9 they're going for. I was talking about this early. They're playing Marshall, who is a darling because they've never made a Final Four, never made a national championship game, but they're loaded with international players. Their roster is just I'd have to look at the numbers to give an exact figure, but it's like 65, 70% or more international players. Total opposite of Indiana. Indiana's all homegrown regional players.
Right. That's right. And so why would you do that in any sport, particularly soccer, is you have player-ready players who understand the blueprint to win, right? You've been trained up almost as a semi-professional since you've been young. You on up the ranks. But one of the things I feel we have in understanding, again, the culture is 30-plus years of winning, passing the torch, right? Camaraderie, chemistry. You have a former player that's now a coach, right? So you got all these things that I feel you have going on that I think will overcome a quote-unquote super team you put together. Not saying Marshall's doing that, but you have homegrown talent, right? You have perennial all-stars, Big Ten players of the year. Pretty neat to find out also they're playing right down the street from where I used to live in Raleigh, North Carolina, and Cary, North Carolina. And Cary is about 10 minutes from Raleigh, almost like Bloomington to Ellettsville.
Really?
So, yeah, so pretty cool to understand that. So I feel the tradition of winning for the last 30-plus years, having a blueprint will show up and show out where we in that national championship.
John, if you got that Yeagley clip ready, you can bust that one out.
Go ahead, Kevin.
Hey, Coach, how did you handle the scouts for the first game, and what do you have any initial thoughts about facing Marshall on Monday night?
I watched a little bit of Marshall today. Kevin, my assistant, was here the whole time, taking good notes, and they're very good. There's going to be a lot of similarities to what we saw today with their ability to keep the ball and possess the ball in the back half. They like to, again, control that. I thought in the first half against UNC, I didn't feel they were super dangerous going forward, but they had a lion's share of the ball. And they're heavily international, similar to Pitt that we played against, with some sophisticated players with experience. So it's going to be, a really unique challenge. I'm really proud of our guys. We have a lot of guys that are putting in really big minutes that are developmental players in our program. And I can't say how important that is for our program in particular. Players that come in and maybe wait 1 or 2 years, wait behind the All-Americans that were before them and develop. And I thought it was a great showcase for our American young players that show that we can compete with anyone, any international players.
Final question goes to Doug Watley. Go ahead, Doug.
Hey, Coach Todd Yeagley from the IDS. This was Roman's, and I think, and your team's 10th shutout this season. And if I have that right, it's the most in the NCAA this season, despite playing less games than most of the other teams. What did you see out of Roman tonight, and then the defense as well, against a very powerful offense?
Well, Roman gives everyone around him confidence. We feel he is the best keeper in the game, and he's able to take shots from distance. He doesn't give much up on seconds. His air play is fantastic. You saw that against Seton Hall, how much they were able to get the ball into dangerous spots, and Marquette for that matter too. And it allows your defenders to be a bit more aggressive in the sense of their 1v1 moments. And we did that a lot today with Muni and Joey. You saw them a lot step into midfield, and we were playing 1-for-1. We couldn't let them turn in those gaps and seams and let them run in our back line. That's when they're the best. And Roman gives you the confidence to do that, because if they do find a moment, he's there to make a big save. And when we do get a little bit deeper, he allows us to also handle some balls in the air, similar to the Seton Hall game. So we're just really fortunate to have Roman. And, again, he's someone that is as humble and as hardworking as I've ever coached. He epitomizes a lot what we look for at IU. He's a wonderful young man.
Thank you for your time.
Coach Todd Yeagley there talking about the men's soccer. You could tell he was – and that's – Todd Yeagley does never – he is just – humble and straight, but I felt that mention of the acknowledgement of playing against kind of a stacked team.
Yeah.
And because when he mentioned the development of his team on how they're proud of how they develop these kids, and it's college athletics, and it kind of this kind of aggravates me because this is not, to me, this is not the spirit of the game. You're building, so it's oh well, whatever. But that makes the win more.
Yeah, I hear you, and I hear your passion as you are describing the spirit of the game for amateur athletics, right? But above the club level, and you can just again tell he has a blueprint. It was passed down from his dad. It's a blueprint that they've stapled at IU in soccer. Who they look for, right? I love how he talked about one of his players, right? I mean, you can't say enough about how one of their best players is one of the humblest players they have. So with that spirit, you always will find ways to find victories, right? Small victories, man, the small stuff that really matters. And I bet they do extremely well.